Hi, Addy. Welcome to lesson number 97. This lesson is going to be super fun because we are going to talk about transversals. I know that's a new vocabulary word for you, but guess what? There's going to be a lot of new vocabulary words in this math lesson. So you're going to have to pay lots of attention. First of all, what do you get if you cross a parrot with a shark? A bird that will talk your ear off. Yeah. Good one, right? All right, now get out your facts practice. Today we are going to go over the liquid measurement. So you're going to have 5 minutes to do that. Ready? On your mark, get set, go.
Do you struggle with belly fat and nothing works to get it or keep it off? Then I've got news for
Do
you.
you struggle
Because
with
no matter
belly
how
fat?
many
Oh my
times you've heard
goodness. That was a really weird ad right there. Sorry about that. Okay. Sorry about that. It's kind of funny. I'm just going to leave that in your lesson because it's kind of funny. All right, mental math. Let's jump right in. We are going to count up and down by 1/2 between -3 and +3. Okay, and we're going to count along while this cute doggy is lifting weights, all right? We're going to start with -3. -3, whoops, whoop, oh, I'm struggling today. -3, -2 and 1/2, -2, -1 and 1/2, -1, -1/2, 0, 1/2, 1, 1 and 1/2, 2, 2 and 1/2, 3. Now let's go down. 2 and 1/2, 2, 1 and 1/2, 1, 1/2, 0, -1/2, -1, -1 and 1/2, -2, -2 and 1/2, -3. Sweet, we did it. All right, let's jump into the next thing, and we're going to watch some characters of The Office while we do this, okay? What is 20 times 50? This one's tricky because 5 times 2 is 10, and then you still have to add those 2 zeros. Okay, B, what is 517 minus 250? It looks like that one has stumped Kevin. Let's see if you can get it. C, what is 25% of 60? And think of 25% as 1/4. So basically, you're doing that. Okay, what is 799 plus 758? Okay, E. What is 0.1 divided by 100? So when you see these problems divided by 100 or multiplied by 100, you should be celebrating like this because you know how to do those. This number is going to be smaller, right? Okay, F. What is 20 times 75? Okay. G, this is a long one. We're going to watch Kevin giggle while we do it, okay? We're going to start with the number 5 times 9. Then subtract 1. Divide by 2. Subtract 1. Divide by 3. Multiply by 10. Add 2. Divide by 9. Subtract 2. Divide by 2. I know I went really fast on that one, so if you need to skip back, do it, okay? All right, let's jump into problem solving. Problem solving talks about someone named Chad. I just made it a cat. Chad, and see, Chad's got his glasses and his pencil in his hand, and he's taking a test. Okay, so it says Chad has taken 3 tests. His lowest score is 70. His highest score is 100%. What is Chad's lowest possible 3-test average? And then what is his highest possible 3-test average? All right, we can do this. So the way I thought about this problem is I had to draw a picture. So this is his first test that he takes. Oops, that looks like a tombstone. Okay, there's the first test. Here's the second test. And here's the third test, because we know he takes 3 tests. Now his lowest score is 70%. That's not very good. His highest score is 100%. Okay? And then it wants to know what is his lowest possible 3-test average. So what is the lowest this test can be? Well, we know it can't be like 50% because then this one wouldn't be the lowest score. So the lowest it can be is 70. So then take the average of 70, 70, and 100. So add them all together, divide by 3. That's your lowest possible average. Okay? And then what's the highest this middle test can be? Well, you can't get more than 100%. So maybe he did that. So his 3-test average might be the average of these 3, which is add them all together and divide by 3. So he's trying to figure out his grade without knowing this one test, okay? So you can tell him the lowest his grade's going to be or the highest his grade's going to be. Cool. I'll let you pause it there and figure it out. And I'm going to jump into the new concept. There's a ton of new vocabulary words, so here we go. The first vocabulary word is a transversal, kind of like transverse, but with an AL at the end. Transversal. And transverse, the way I think of this word is it's something that cuts across. So like instead of going all the way around this park to get to the city, you might want to just cut through and transverse through the park. Okay, so that's what transverse means. And when we're talking about math, we're going to talk about a line that transverses, that means it crosses or it intersects 2 or more other lines. Okay, so it's like having a line that does this. Okay, that's not a perfect line, but pretend that it is. Okay, actually, let's not pretend. Let's make it perfect. Okay, I'm going to try that again. Let's see if the machine will make it perfect for me. It didn't. Oh well. Okay, I'll live with that. Okay, so this is line R. Oh my goodness. I'm having a hard time today. This is line R. Okay, and this is line S, and this is line T. So line R is the transversal of lines S and line T because it cuts across both of those. It intersects them. Okay, so in the drawing, you'll notice that this line is not parallel to this line. They're not parallel. And so today, what we're going to focus on is what if you have a transversal across lines that are parallel? Okay, let me show you a picture of what that looks like. Oh, first of all, parallel lines. This is cute. So this is a line and this is a parallel line. And this one's saying, we can never meet. We're parallel. And this one, look at his face. He looks sad. But it's true. Parallel lines never cross each other. They never meet. So here's an example of 2 parallel lines. The parallel lines are M and N. M and N. That's cute. And then there's going to be a line going across it, which is this purple line, and we'll call it P. Alrighty, so here we go. Here's a couple vocabulary words, okay? So if these 2 lines, M and N, are parallel, you're going to notice some angles that are formed. So there is this angle. See that? There's also this angle. There's this angle. There's this one. There's this one, there's this one, there's this one, there's this one. Okay, so a transversal line, when it crosses 2 parallel lines, it makes 8 angles altogether. And we're going to notice some things about them. I'm going to label them first. We're going to call this angle 1, angle 2, angle 3, angle 4, angle 5, angle 6, angle 7, angle 8. Okay? Alrighty. There are 8 angles formed. 4 of them are acute angles. Remember the word acute? That means less than 90 degrees. So let's point out which of these angles are acute. Well, this one is, 2 is, also 4 is, also 6 is, and also 8 is acute. Those are all the acute. So there's 4 acute ones. There's also 4 obtuse angles. Let's erase that. And we're going to look at the obtuse angles. Remember, obtuse sounds like the word obese. That means they're big fat angles, bigger than 90 degrees. So let's look at those. There's angle 1, angle 3 is obtuse, angle 5 is obtuse, and angle 7 is obtuse. Okay, now I want you to notice something. Angle 1, well, poop, let's do that again. Angle 1 is an obtuse angle, and angle 2 is an acute angle. Together, those two angles form a straight line because they go from there to there. So these angles are called supplementary angles. Look at the bottom. Supplementary angles are angles that add to 180 degrees. Okay, cool, right? So if they tell you that this angle measures 110 degrees, then you're going to know automatically that this angle must be 70 degrees because angle 1 and 2 are supplementary. They have to add to 180. I want you to notice something else. This angle is also a supplementary angle with 3, right? Because if you look at this sideways, this is a straight line. So 2 and 3 are supplementary angles because they add to 180. So if we figured out that this angle 2 is 70 degrees, then it must be true that angle 3 is 110 degrees. Cool, huh? And guess what? Notice another thing. Angles 3 and angle 4 are also supplementary angles because together they make a straight line. So if you figured out that angle 3 is 110 degrees, then you'll know that angle 4 is 70 degrees because they are also supplementary and add to 180. And because you can do that, so if you know one angle, you're automatically going to know all of these other angles. And you can do that because there are corresponding angles or angle pairs. Let me write the word corresponding angles. Corresponding angles. Okay. Okay, corresponding angles mean that they're kind of in the same position. So, for example, angle 1 is corresponding to angle 5. So if you just move this angle down, you'll get angle 5. So 1 and 5 are corresponding angles because they're in the same position, kind of. Like if you're playing Foursquare, this is the upper left, and if you're playing Foursquare on the bottom, this is the upper left. Okay, and then also angle 5, yeah. Okay, so it's okay. Let's go on to the next question. It says, which angle corresponds to angle 2? So which one is in the same position, like if you're playing Foursquare on the bottom part, and it's 6. So 6 and 2 are corresponding angles. And then the book asks us, which angle corresponds to angle 7? So if you're playing Foursquare, and this is your Foursquare, where's the same position on the upper line? It's this one, right? Because this is your Foursquare, and that's in the same position as that, lower right. Okay, so that's what corresponding angle means. It's about in the same position, in the same relative position. Cool. Okay, now there's another vocabulary word. There's going to be interior angles and exterior angles. And what you do to figure that out is super easy. Okay, if it's in between the parallel lines, then it's interior, kind of like the interior of a house or the inside of a house. If the angles are on the outside, this or this, they're called exterior, or the outside of a house. Exterior. So anything in this area, 4, 5, 3, and 6, those are interior angles. Okay, and anything on the outside, so angles 1, angles 2, angles 8, and angles 7, those are exterior angles. Okay, all right, another vocabulary word, here we go. This is a lot to remember, I know. The vocabulary word is alternate. So the way I think about it is this. Let's pretend that this line P is making an alternate universe. So everything here is on the normal universe side, and everything here is part of the alternate universe. Okay? So angle 4 is an alternate interior angle to angle 6. Because it's on the opposite side of P, that means it's on the alternate universe. And they're both acute angles. See how it's small? And this one's also small. And they're called interior because they're between these parallel lines. So they're on the inside of the house. So this is an alternate interior angle to this. Okay? Let's look at another pair of alternate interior angles. Can you find it? Angle 3 is an alternate interior angle to angle 5 because these are both fat. So you've got a fat person on this side and then a fat person in the alternate universe. It's obtuse, they're still interior, and they're alternate because they're on opposite sides of P. Okay, so now it makes sense that we also have alternate exterior angles. So these are angles like angle 1, because that's a big fat angle, but it's on the exterior side. And what's its alternate exterior? It would be angle 7, because that's a big fat angle in the alternate universe, and it's outside of the box. Okay? Okay, so what about angle 8? This is an alternate exterior angle compared to angle 2. Why? Because they're both acute angles. They're on opposite sides of P, so that makes them alternate. And they're outside of this box, so that makes them exterior. So angle 2 and 8 are alternate exterior angles. Angle 1 and angle 7 are alternate exterior angles. Angle 4 and angle 6 are alternate interior angles, and angle 5 and angle 3 are alternate interior angles. Whew, that's a lot of angles. Okay, the important thing to remember is that alternate angles are congruent. Remember that word? Congruent. At least when you're crossing two parallel lines, they are the same angle. For example, angle 1, if they tell you that it's 110 degrees, then angle 7, because it's an alternate exterior angle, is also 110 degrees. Okay? All right, what if they tell you that angle 4 is 70 degrees? If they do, then you also know that in the alternate universe, angle 6 is also 70 degrees. So the bottom line from all of this is that, okay, we went over all those words, I think. All the acute angles are equal. Check it out. This is so cool. Equal, 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 equal. Whoa, that's so cool. And all the fat angles are equal. Actually, let me get a different color. Let's do green. So this is equal to this, which is equal to this, which is equal to this. Woo! All acute angles are equal. All obtuse angles are equal. As long as you're transversing two parallel lines. And these have to be parallel. Okay? So that is so cool. Okay, I'm going to turn to page 520 and let's do this example. Okay, in the example it says transversal W, so this line intersects these two parallel lines, X and Y, and it tells you that those two lines are parallel. The first question is, name the pairs of corresponding angles. Remember, corresponding, that means it's like you're playing Foursquare. And there's a Foursquare here, and there's a Foursquare here. So who is in the same position in Foursquare? Okay, so who's in the same position? A is in the same position as E. Okay, B is in the same position as F. D is in the same position as H. And C is in the same position as G. So those are all the corresponding angles. Now it says, name the pairs of alternate interior angles. Alternate interior. So remember, interior means like if you made a box out of these parallel lines, it's going to be on the inside of the house. Alternate means it's on opposite sides of this transversal line. So alternate interior angles, and if you're acute, you're going to be cute in the parallel universe. So D and F are alternate interior angles. Also, E and C are alternate interior angles. Okay, now it says, name the pairs of alternate exterior angles. Alternate exterior angles. Okay, these are going to be the ones that are across the parallel universe, but they're not on the inside of the box, they're on the outside. So up here or down here. Okay, so A, where's its alternate universe companion? It's G. Why? Because they're both fat, they're both on the outside of the box, and they're on the opposite side of the transversal. Okay, the other one is going to be H and B. Those are the two alternate exterior angles. Okay, now last question, and it's the hardest of them all. If they tell us that angle A is 115 degrees, then what are the measurements of E, which is here, and F? Okay, so we know A is 115 degrees. If these are parallel lines, all of the fat angles are going to measure the same. So this is also 115 because it's a corresponding angle. And E and F are supplementary angles. So they add up to 180. So all you have to do to figure out the other one is you do 180 minus 115, and you get 65 for this angle. Now it didn't ask it, but we also know that B is 65, also D is 65, H is going to be 65, G is going to be 115, C is going to be 150. We know them all just because they gave us this one. So that's pretty cool, huh? All right, that's it for your lesson today, Addy. Thank you very much. Okay, bye-bye.